Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare. जय श्री राधा गोकुलानंद की जय। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पश्यता देशतारिणे। Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everyone. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman 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 Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Hare Krishna. Okay, so everyone, we're asking everyone to put your arms up in the air, nice and high. If you can take a deep breath, if you can repeat after me as loud as you can, please. Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Krishna Krishna! Hare Hare! Hare Rama! Hare Rama! Rama Rama! Hare Hare! Okay, you did very well. So if you can put your hands together, if you have room, you can bow down. We're going to do Prema Dhwani prayers. I'm going to say a series of prayers. For example, I'll say Vrindavan Dham Ki. Okay, so we have to do it with more enthusiasm. We'll try it again. Vrindavan Dham Ki. Jai. See, I knew you could do it. It's okay. So, Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivaraja Kacharya Astotarasata Sri Srimad, His Loving Divine Grace, Abhaya Charana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Shri Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Shri Rupsi Sanatan Bhatta Raghunathi Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhupada ki Prem se ko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Madan Mohan Shamakun Radha Kun Shishikiri Govardhan ki Shri Gangamai Jamunamai ki Tulsi Maharani Bhakti Devi ki Shri Mayapur Jagannath Puri Dham ki Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham ki Jagannath Puri Dham ki Ayodhya Dham ki Dwarka Puri Dham ki Shri Bhaktivedanta Manor Dham ki Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yoga Dharma ki Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution ki Vaishnav Sangha Vaishnav Seva ki. So the next part I say all glories to assembled devotees and you say Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. So we just ask if we can move a little bit more forward to make room for devotees to the back, and we ask everyone if you can, if you find space, please sit down. We're going to say prayers to Lord Nrsingadev, who is the protector of Prahlad Maharaj and protector of all the devotees. And then after that, Mohan Prabhu, he wants to share some spiritual food for thought, and then after that there will be prasad.
Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Pralada Lada Daina Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha Shiratan Kanakalaya Ito Nishimgo Parato Nishimgo Yato Yato Yamitai To Nishimgo Bahir Nishimgo Hridaya Nishimgo Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapadya Avakara Kamalavare Nakam Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranyakashipur Tanubhingam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Kamalavare Adbhuta Sringam Darita Hiranyakashipur Tanubhingam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jayo Jagadisha Hare Jayo Narasimhadev Narasimhadev, Narasimhadev, Jaya Narasimhadev. Jaya Pralat Maharaj, Pralat Maharaj, Pralat Maharaj, Jaya Pralat Maharaj. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Shri Narasimha Bhagavan ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so if you just wait there for a few minutes, Mohan Prabhu, he wants to share a few spiritual gems with you that you can take away, food for thought, you know. There'll be food for belly as well after, but there's food for thought. So lend your ears, and Mohan Prabhu will share some nice spiritual gems with you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Are you all awake? I know it's kind of getting to the afternoon now and soon the evening, but I think this is something really, really important for every single one of us to hear and listen and potentially take an inspiration from. So I was just doing some reading while I was upstairs, and there was a really interesting line from a book that I'm reading that stood out for me, which is that every single one of us in this world, we're all struggling for existence. How many of you can relate? We're all struggling in this world in one way or another. And the three biggest things that we're all struggling with is criticism, comparison, and competitiveness. Are you all with me so far? We all experience this. We all compare our lives to the lives of others. We always criticize others sometimes to make ourselves feel good, even if we're doing it subtly. And yeah, we're always in competition to be the best. So we're all struggling with these things, and nevertheless, what we hear, what we see, what we read, who we associate with, often more than not doesn't help, does it? You know, we're always looking at the news, we're always overhearing other people's conversations, we're always reading the newspaper. All these things influences the heaviness of these three diseases of our spiritual life. But you know, you came at the right time, in the right place, because there is hope. You know, in Sri Ishopanishad, one of the things that it mentions is that this body that you reside within is like a boat. This world is like an ocean. An ocean of what, you may be asking, right? Are you asking? An ocean of what? Are you asking? An ocean of material suffering. Like I've begun this talk with, we're struggling. We're struggling with many, many challenges. We're struggling with establishing our relationship with Krishna. We're struggling with self-insecurity, lack of confidence, lack of esteem. All these things we're struggling with, we're just not very comfortable or confident to sort of present it out. And as a result, it affects our spiritual life. Because how we are mentally also affects how we are spiritually. But this body is compared to a boat. And in this boat, you have the most two important, valuable asset. Do you want to know what it is? Take a guess. I love interactiveness because it kind of tells me that you guys are with me. What's the most valuable asset in a boat? He's behind you. Srila Prabhupada. So in this boat is Srila Prabhupada, and what Srila Prabhupada has done over the course of his life is he's written so many books. So these are the compass. These are the things that helps us to stay afloat in an ocean where everything else is sinking. You see that all the time, don't you? When you're in your workplace, when you're just out there in society, people are struggling. People are overwhelmed with so much decisions and choices to make, so many things to do. So in that boat, we have the compass, which is Srila Prabhupada and his books. These books broaden our horizon. It gives us a scope of what this life is all about. Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Who we are, why are we here, what is our relationship with God, and where am I going? Because you and I both know that this boat will eventually have to come to its destination. But the key fundamental thing is every single one of you have a choice in the matter in which destination you want to go to. It's not automatic. The choices and decisions you make today actually determines and defines what happens tomorrow, where your destination will be. So in that boat, you have Prabhupada and Srila Prabhupada's books, which I really encourage every single one of you after this talk. The reception is right there. Just pick up a book and read. It will actually really open your eyes to a whole world. And not only that, sometimes what happens in the boat is that across the horizon you see all these different stones that you can crush onto, right? All these different rocks and different things you may crush into. Those are our anathas, our conditionings, our limitations, the mind. The mind is always telling us, look at this person, look at this, look at that criticism, comparison, and competitiveness. But Krishna says that I am in the heart of every living entity. Have you ever been in a time in your life where you know that you get a bad feeling about something and you know you shouldn't do it, but you do it anyway? You say something and you know you shouldn't, but you say it anyway, and then it gets you into a whole load of trouble. How many of you have experienced that? So Krishna is always in our heart. Krishna is always telling us, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. But we have to be attuned to the frequency of Krishna rather more than the frequency of Maya. So that's the other thing. Krishna has given us a binocular. We're able to see what we can avoid, what we should avoid, and what we should focus more on. And what we focus on really either encourages us to keep moving forward or discourages us and holds us back. Are you all with me so far? Are you awake? Perfect. And the last and most key fundamental things, if there's anything you can take away from this, is that we can actually determine the course of where our boat is going based on the actions and choices and decisions we make today for ourselves and also for our children. So I encourage every single one of you to take spiritual practice as serious as you can within your capacity and capability. Because Krishna says, what you lack, I preserve. That's the most fundamental thing. It's not about being a shooting star. Rather, it's about just doing the best that you can with what you can. And Krishna helps you along the journey and along the way. So whether it's chanting, reading, coming to the temple, doing service, or even at home doing service, because ultimately it's what's in the heart, right? The sincerity, the intention. And these little things that you do determines where you go, where your ship will destine for, where your boat will destine for. So please, this is my encouragement to you. We all have an opportunity in this life. It's a saying that Parikshit Maharaj knew he had 7 days to live. We don't even know if we have 7 minutes to live. Our life, our boat can come to an end at any period of time. The most humorous things in life is that we see people around us pass away, but we don't think it's going to happen to us. We think we have more time to live in this world than we really do. So try and make the best out of this lifetime, this period, this moment that you have, this boat that you're on. And set ashore for Srila Prabhupada's boat. Okay? So I encourage you all to take spiritual life and spiritual practice more serious. And like I said, there's books there that can inspire you, enthuse you, and expose you to what really Krishna consciousness is about. Hare Krishna.
So, going to be more kirtan going on in the temple room. They're serving some prasad outside as well. So you're welcome to stay. And then next arti also will be at 7 o'clock. And then there's another arti at 9 o'clock.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So if you can stay a little bit longer, then we will just chant the holy name for some time more. And this is very, very powerful practice, which really can change so much in our life and bring joy to our hearts and to hearts of others around us. So let's try together and see what's going to happen. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Svaminiti Namina Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarina Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everyone please sing. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Everyone. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time from your heart. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Actually, when we sing the Maha Mantra, Krishna can hear. He's really hearing how we are chanting and with how much sincerity. So the more sincerely we chant, calling out to Krishna, the more he reciprocates. And actually this prayer means that Krishna, please engage me in your service. So this is our real situation, to serve Krishna, and we're just begging him to engage us again in our original position of being his servant. So this is our prayer. So please, let's chant sincerely together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, loudly. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Clap your hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ibo, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you feel like dancing, please dance. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Gaura Nitai ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. You did so well. That was so beautiful, and I'm sure you have benefited greatly from this chanting. If we can maintain this practice of chanting the holy name, then all the problems will finish. So thank you so much. In half an hour there will be Bhagavad Gita class here in the temple room, so I think it will be great if you can attend, and I'm sure it will be very very inspirational and we can learn a lot. And in the meantime you can have some prasadam. They are serving in Haveli. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Bhagavad Gita class is at 6 p.m. So in half an hour.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Savana Raghunathantam Tvam Sajivam परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदां साधन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पदां साधन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanshan Shri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitanstam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. We will have a Bhagavad Gita class now. So please, if you would like, please stay with us in the temple room. Hare Krishna.
Just sit here, so I'm not like in the way. I'll just use the moment. Yeah. Thank you. I have actually I have my own. Yeah. I have my own, so yeah. That's it. Just like maybe if somebody wants to follow, they can get the Bhagavad Gita. They can follow. It's okay. We could just. It's not a very long purport, so. Haribo, Haribo. Is this working? Yeah. So as usual, I like to chant the Mangala before the Bhagavad Gita, followed by Jai Radha Madhava. So you can, we'll just chant the Mangala Charana one time. You can join in, and then after we'll sing Jai Radha Madhava in response. Om Jnanam Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta-padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitascha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. You have kartals? Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraja Kacharya Stotra Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivraja Kacharya Stotra Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vringati Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Hridayananda Das Goswami Niti Namine Namaste Guru Hansaya Paramananda Medase Prabhupada Pramodaya Dushta Siddhanta Nashine. We'll chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 3 times. Please join in. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, thank you so much for coming to Bhaktivedanta Manor. Tonight, as every evening, we're reading from the Bhagavad Gita, and this evening we are reading from the chapter 11. verse 20. The chapter is entitled Universal Form. I'm just going to read the Sanskrit if somebody can hear and try to repeat. Let us try to pay attention and try to actually repeat the sound. Try to really practice hearing, especially something that we might not be familiar, but maybe we are familiar as well. So let's try. Dyav apritivyoridam anantaram hi. Dyav apritivyo idam anantaram hi. Vyaptum tvayaikena dishascha sarva. Vyaptum tvayaikena dishascha sarva. Drishtvaadbhutam rupam ugram tavedam. Drishtvaadbhutam rupam ugram tavedam. Lokatrayam pravyatitam mahatman. Katrayam pravyatita mahatman. Would you like to, those who have the Bhagavad Gitas, make it. Dhyava pritivyoridam anantaram hi. Vyaptum tvayaikena dishascha sarvam. Drishtvaadbhutam rupam ugram tavedam. Lokatrayam pravyatitam mahatman. Would you like to try? Dhyava pritivyo idam anantaram hi. Vyaptam tvaikena dishascha sarva. Drishtvaadbhutam rupam ugram tavedam. Lokatrayam pravyatitam mahatman. So we'll just do word for word because we don't have so much time. Dhyau, from outer space. Apritivyo, to the earth. Idam, this. Antaram, between. He, certainly. Vyaptam, pervaded. Tvaya, by you. Ekena, alone. Disha, directions. Cha, and. Sarva, all. Drishtva, by seeing. Adbhutam, wonderful. Rupam, form. Ugram, terrible. Tava, your. Idam, this. Loka, the planetary systems. Trayam, three. Pravyatitam, perturbed. Mahatmana, O Great One. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets of all space between. O Great One, seeing this wonderful and terrible form, wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. Repeat, please. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. Purport. Dhyava Pritivyo, the space between heaven and earth, and Lokatrayam, the three worlds, are significant words in this verse because it appears that not only did Arjuna see this universal form of the Lord, but others in other planetary systems saw it also. Arjuna's seeing of the universal form was not a dream. All whom the Lord endowed with divine vision saw that universal form on the battlefield. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So this verse is spoken by Arjuna as a part of his prayers that he offered to Krishna after Krishna revealed to him his universal form. Chapter 11 follows chapter 10, logically, where in the previous chapter Krishna explained his opulences. And Arjuna, even though he was a pure devotee and at that time he was convinced of Krishna's supremacy, because by being devotee surrendered to the Lord, one actually gains all the knowledge of the soul, of the universe, and of the cause of all. However, as mentioned previously, for the sake or for the benefit of conditioned souls, Arjuna asked Krishna to show him the universal form. And very often, people, when they challenge a theistic view of the world and the existence of God, they ask, "Can you show me God?" As if, God is someone to be just seen at the order of somebody who doesn't even believe that there is such a thing as the Supreme Person. Now, it doesn't work like that. The actual situation or the reality of things is that God is everywhere. God is the source of everything, and everything that exists is God's energy. And this is the absolute truth. The reality of things is God, or the supreme absolute truth. Even though the word God in English doesn't really describe in the best way the situation or the state of the facts described in the Vedic literatures. We would, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explained the absolute truth or the source of all is understood in three aspects: Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman. And that the Bhagavan is the source of all. So here we have the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavan himself, who appeared amongst the human beings, pretending to be a human being, but actually he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who descends from time to time in order to establish the Dharma for the benefit of the conditioned souls. So during this time, the Lord, out of his causeless mercy, he gives all the knowledge that we need to become freed from the illusion of not being able to see the reality of existence of God and that the source of everything that we see around us. So just we are talking about the seeing, and Arjuna is at this point endowed with the divine vision. And so because Arjuna was Krishna's pure devotee, and this is the process of approaching the Supreme or realizing the Supreme absolute truth and our relationship with him, because we are all intrinsically, eternally related to the Lord. So when the soul surrenders to the Supreme and renders transcendental loving service like Arjuna did, he is actually, this living entity is actually acting in its constitutional position. And so this pure devotional, the process of pure devotional service is something very confidential. It's such an exalted thing for a soul to be able to do. If one actually engages one's efforts, one's senses in the transcendental loving service and offers them with no desire for any personal benefit or any gain from it, only as an offering of love to the Supreme, that kind of activity is not part of this world. By this kind of activity, the soul is actually asking the Supreme Lord to reconnect back to Him. And by this reconnection, we are actually reviving our original consciousness, which is full of knowledge and bliss. And it is something that is eternal, and it always stays with the soul. Not part of this world, which, when this body ends, everything that we do or everything we perform in this life for the sake of material gain is actually gone together with the end of this life. However, the activities that are dedicated for the pleasure of the Lord are on the transcendental level, and in this way the soul is purified. The soul is connected to the Supreme in knowledge, in bliss, and a specific kind of happiness and bliss that one experiences by performing pure devotional service is that constitutional happiness that soul is made out of, that we are looking for. So, only by, Krishna also described previously that only by the devotional service am I to be known. So Arjuna, being a pure devotee and acting also for the benefit of other living entities, he asked Krishna to show him universal forms for two reasons. For one reason, that it will be established what is the standard or what is the position of the Supreme Lord. And also if someone in the future may be claiming that he is Supreme Lord or Avatar or something, he should be able to do this, to display his universal form. Krishna said that Krishna has given Arjuna his special vision by which Arjuna was actually able to perceive Krishna's omnipresence in this universe. So just like our senses, we all have senses of seeing, hearing, tasting, like this. So, the symptom of the soul is that we have senses, or symptom of life, that we have senses by which we perceive things around. But however we're having these material bodies, our senses are very limited. We have very limited ability to see what is in front of us. We can't see what's behind the wall, for example. Or, we can just see basically like the perimeter of this room. Someone else is seeing the perimeters of whatever they are. Or hearing, we can't even hear some vibrations, or dogs, for example, can hear, or some animals can hear. They have different senses. So each living entity has a particular power of experiencing the world or sensing the world, and it is limited. However, when Krishna endowed Arjuna with this special power of seeing, he was basically given this super sensory perception, as if you can imagine that. And sometimes it is also described when people, for example, have experience a clinical death. They come back and they describe how they had this super sensory sensation. I don't know, maybe you've heard sometimes, but they would experience the colors and sounds, and they would be free from anxiety and stuff like this. They would mention. So maybe like we can imagine that one actually is able to perceive so intensely, as Arjuna has perceived, the whole of the universal form of the Supreme Lord. So he said, Arjuna says, although you're one, you're spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space in between. So Krishna, Jai Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki Jai, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai, Shri Shri Gauritai ki Jai. So Krishna is sitting with Arjuna on his chariot, and Arjuna was relating to Krishna as a friend. Arjuna is such an intimate devotee of the Lord that he is experiencing relationship with the Lord in a friendship, rasa. So devotees whose love is so intense, they don't even know that Krishna is the Supreme, and they relate to him as a friend, as a son, or as a lover, as a servant. And their love is so intense that their knowledge of Krishna's supremacy is subdued. And they're just completely absorbed in Krishna's loving service. However, Arjuna here acting in a way as a guru in a disciplic succession, where Krishna is revealing the knowledge to him, and he reveals his majestic opulence and this form of the universal omnipresence. Arjuna becomes overwhelmed with awe and reverence, or the Audarya rasa, as it is also, or Aishvarya, consciousness when the devotee perceives and becomes aware of Krishna's supreme opulence. So Arjuna perceived with this supersensory power that Krishna endowed to him. He perceived everything, the whole universe. If you can imagine, from this perspective, we can just see what this room, and Arjuna has basically perceived from the bottom of the universe to the top of the universe, all the planetary systems, all the living entities, all the moving and non-moving existence. And it's mentioned also that he also saw everything that is presently happening, and also what's going to happen in the future. Also became aware of Krishna's Kala Rupa, or the form of time by which eventually everything is destroyed. As you can imagine, if you can just kind of in theory imagine having this sort of vision or experience, what sort of that would be like a mind-blowing, as they would say. And it looks like that Krishna gave this vision not only to Arjuna, but to all the demigods on the high planets. It says here that seeing this wondrous terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. So Arjuna actually also saw that others others who also experienced and saw this universal form of Krishna also became just in awe and a terror of seeing this power and might. And this would be a natural reaction if one would actually experience. I mean, we become frightened when we see some storm or some natural disaster that happens. But and you can imagine just being in there, like being in the time when there's a tsunami, or when there's a hurricane or avalanche or something. If you happen to be there, it is terrifying. And you can imagine if you would able to actually see all of that power at once everywhere in the universe, and what kind of sensation one might experience. So this is the main point of this chapter 11, where Krishna is actually giving Arjuna this vision and experience. So we who are practitioners, spiritual practitioners, can also find out the description of various descriptions of the universal form of the Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, where different aspects of the Supreme Lord are explained, in the beginning, the first stage of God realization is described as understanding the creation, understanding this universe where we are. And the questions of Maharaj Parikshit, who is an example of to follow, who 7 days before he was about to leave this world, leave his life as he knew what's going to happen. So 7 days prior, he sat and fasted and absorbed himself in hearing and learning about the Supreme Lord. So, and give an example, and also for the benefit of all of us. So if we get a chance to purchase, or we already have the Srimad Bhagavatam at home, we should take advantage of the knowledge that Srila Prabhupada has left for us. And in the second chapter and the third chapter, there are detailed descriptions of how the universe is created. How this material world, which is the external energy of the Supreme Lord, is, we can see from that picture in there. When you come, you can study this picture. It's very, very educational. Here in the right corner, we can see Mahavishnu in the corner of the creation. Mahavishnu is the expansion of Supreme Lord Krishna, and is one of the three Vishnus that are that expand to maintain this material world. So Mahavishnu, by his breathing, all the universes come out of his pores, and then he expands himself in a Garbhodakashaya Vishnu that enters into each universe. So each universe, at the bottom, there is an ocean called Garbha Udaka, the water of the creation. And the second Vishnu, who is the expansion of Mahavishnu, it enters into each universe and brings all living entities that are stored in his body, so to speak. This is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then the material world becomes impregnated by the living entities. And then there is a third Purusha incarnation, Kshirodakasha Vishnu, and he enters each and every atom in the universe. And he is the super soul that is a witness of all the activities. So when Arjuna saw these three planetary systems, he saw Garbhodakashaya Vishnu lying on the bottom of the ocean, and then he saw also Brahmaloka on the top of the universe, and all the planets in between. So all of these detailed descriptions you can find in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And please, if you get a chance, you can also read online, but it's nice to have books at home. I've just now noticed, I can't really, my vision is kind of affected a little bit. Every time I come, I'm having a little difficulties to see, because we're just like looking at the screen so much, and I think it really affects us. So if we can go back to books, it's actually much healthier to read books. So there are all these descriptions in the Shastra of the creation and the material universe, all of this information is actually not possible to know by our experimental or by our limited senses, as we are already aware of. But the knowledge that's beyond our experience, we can only receive by hearing, and this is the process of acquiring knowledge that's beyond our perception, is by hearing from the authorities who know. And so this knowledge comes down from the Lord himself and from the sages who have received this knowledge and passed it down in disciplic succession. So this is the Vedic system of acquiring knowledge. And talking about the vision, or Arjuna is endowed by the divine vision. In a similar way, we can actually be endowed with a vision through the eyes of the Shastra. It is described the person who sees the world through the eyes of the Shastra is called Shastra Chakshu, which means the one who sees through the Shastra, not through just what he can perceive in a limited way. So this is the perfect way of perceiving the world through the eyes of the Shastra and understanding that Vasudeva Sarvamiti, that all of this is coming from the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, who appeared as the son of Vasudeva in this age, the end of the last Yuga, the beginning of Kali. And also in other places like Brahma Samhita, it is described Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sataiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shyama Sundaram Achintya Gunasvarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. That one whose eyes are smeared with the salve of love or devotion to the Supreme Lord, they are able to understand and see the world as they are, as it is. Because by surrendering to the Supreme Lord, the little tiny insignificant living entity who's basically has very limited power and ability, actually can be endowed by the Lord with all the knowledge, with all the information that we have and beyond, by being blessed by the revelation. And this is the way of actually understanding transcendence through revelation, through the grace of the Lord, as Arjuna was graced. So this is the process. So in this age of Kali, chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is the best and easiest and prescribed method of starting with the devotional service, and also its goal. So just by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, we all know Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All the Vedic knowledge will be revealed within our heart, and we can actually perceive by purifying the senses. By chanting the Mahamantra, our senses become purified. We actually can experience revelation from inside the heart of all the knowledge and also become happy. And this is the grace of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda in this age, that Kevala Ananda Kanda, there the process is only Ananda, only bliss, which is chanting the Mahamantra and taking prasadam, which is offered to the Lord. So if we just start the devotional service by engaging the tongue, by chanting and hearing and offering all the food that we take to the Lord, and in this way we can purify our senses and see the reality with the purified senses, which is actually very happy and wondrous. So we can also follow in the footsteps of Arjuna and attain the vision of the reality as it is, and make our life perfect, because this is what the human life is for self-realization, for God realization, to reviving our eternal loving consciousness, eternal loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. Thank you very much for your patience and for attention. And we have 10 more minutes before the Arti, and if anyone would like to ask any questions or add any comments or like to discuss any point. Yes. Yes.
I was wondering how do we get rid of this misconception that, I have to do certain things for the Lord so that He is happy. Because like you explained, it's not like that. It's more about our consciousness. But for me, sometimes I think, I have to do this specifically because this.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because we have a certain understanding, and then perhaps we get fixed in certain idea, and this is how things should be done, and this is how, what sort of outcome should be. However, part of actually surrendering to the Lord is actually giving up the results to the Lord. So we can always approach our activities and with the prayers of, my Lord, I'm doing my duty, and it's up to you, whatever the outcome will be. And then accept this as well. So it is also described that yoga means being equipoised in happiness and distress, in success or in failure. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva. Krishna said to Arjuna, become sama, become equipoised, siddhya siddhi, in perfection or imperfection. But if we do our service, if we do our duty out of love for the Lord and depend on Him for result, and if we can't, then we can try by actually offering prayers in this way and try to depend on the Lord in such a way. And then Krishna can give us a lot more than we can ever imagine. And we have to trust Krishna. So this is a test of how much we can actually trust the Lord. Are we trusting that Krishna is in control, or we think that we are in control? So these are all. Of course, we have to be practical. We have to make some practical arrangements, be professional, etc., in different situations. But ultimately, some things are just out of our control. And we always have to be prepared for that and know that ultimately Daiva, or the destiny, or the Krishna's approval is part of everything that happens. Nothing can happen without Krishna's sanctioning that. And so we have to just remember that. So it's an opportunity always to remember and become more dependent on Krishna, depend on Him. This is part of surrender. The process of surrender is to depend on Krishna and have trust in Him. And have so much trust that we are really convinced that if I just do my service and I do my more sincere offering to Krishna out of love, without any expectation, then all things will be looked after. And this is explained, this consciousness is called Shraddha or conviction. The Krishna is in my heart, Krishna is in control. Yes. Yes.
Can I comment something?
Yes, please.
Again, I'm also in spirituality. I think context of your point here, what we need to also look at is when you surrender to Lord Krishna, essentially we are conditioning ourselves. Yes. To look at it from a mind perspective, Antakaran, what we call it. There are 4 dimensions to that. It's Buddhi, Manas, Chitta, and Ahankara, which is intellect, emotions, our emotional quotient. Chittam is our memory bank, strong identity, which from a Vedantic standpoint, we call it as ego. Ego could be a negative connotation. Identity would be very close word for ahankara. So one of the things from a bhakti mark perspective is, when you're surrendering to Lord Krishna, essentially you're trying to dissolve your ego. That's one of the means to attain consciousness. Objective being, if we manage on a heightened level, actually get our identity to absolutely zero. That's when you have some absolutely, you're kind of merging as one.
Yes, what you're describing, the ahankara, the false, we call it ahankara, is actually divided in two words, aham and kara, I am the doer. So exactly, when we surrender this ahankara, we surrender that the consciousness, I'm the doer. No, I'm not the doer, you are the doer. I am your eternal servant. So this is the consciousness, the real identity of the soul is in relation to the Supreme, is actually that I am the eternal servant of the Lord. The relationship of the soul and the Lord as it's part and parcel. So the merging, which is often discussed mentioned, in the, in some spiritual circles, especially in India, is actually aligning our consciousness with the transcendental consciousness. So just like the fish in the ocean, so it's not merged with the ocean, but it's swimming in the ocean. It retains its identity. So the soul actually it retains its identity eternally, which is that of a servant of the Lord, the loving servant of the Lord. And this bhakti is eternally situated within the heart of every soul. Prema bhakti. This is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Shravana Dishrudha Chite Karohe Udoi, Krishna Prema, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, Sadhya Kabunoi, Shravana Dishrudha Chite Karohe Udoi. So Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, this the eternal perfection of the soul is Krishna Prema, is situated in the heart. And Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte, when this consciousness is purified by the process of hearing and chanting, then this prema is awoken, udoy. This is in Bengali. Maybe someone Bengali, they will pronounce better. But this Krishna prema is awakened from within the heart. And this is eternal identity of the soul as opposed to identity of this body. Ahankara. When we have this body, then we identify with this body, which is just the carrier of the soul. Thank you for your comment. And there's a time for quick question. We've got 4 more minutes. Or a comment. Otherwise, I'll just thank you for coming, and we will get ready for the Aarti. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Haribo. Haribo. There's something else.
You can move more inside.
The girl's man.
श्री श्री राम रघुनानंद की जय, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय, श्री श्री गौरानीता की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय जय गौरचंद्र
All from back. All
भारती का शोभा Bhaktivedanta Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste, Saraswati Deve, Gauranga Charine, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatyanas Harine, Saraswati Deve, Gauranga Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Bol Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol everyone Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaura Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Premadvani prayers. Should I say Premadvani prayers? I will say. First you have to say Jayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa. Okay. Jayam Vishnupada, sorry. So thank you so much for attending in the Arati. So we'll just say the prayers to the or the acharyas. So whenever I say ki, you say Jai, please, okay? And you can either bow down or you can fold your hands if your health doesn't allow you. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtatarshat Shishimat, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtatarshat Shishimat, His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Namacharya Srila Hridhas Thakur ki. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki. Vrindavan Dham ki. Mayapur Dham ki. Jaganakshetra Dham ki. Ganga Mai ki. Yamuna Mai ki. Tulsi Maharani ki. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Can everybody sit down for Narsingha prayers, please?
Oh, yes, we will have Narsimhadev prayers. So it's not the end yet, please. You can stay for a few more minutes.
Please